turn back the clock to when God and her were born. Come in, she said, I'll give ya shelter from the storm.
I'm not surprised that they're honoring the album because it was one of Bob Dylan's later records, one of his post-bike crash records that has always stood out.
I've seen love go by my door. It's never been this close before. Never been so easy or so slow.
I'm really interested to see what it's going to be like having all these different voices singing the songs in sequence.
I just have really deep relationships with a lot of people on stage. So for me, this is like converging on a space. Tulsa is this great spot for it.
But this time round it's more correct.
We went to the Dylan Center today and walked around.
Kevin, the guy who played guitar in Tangled Up in Blue, has a guitar on display, but it's gone. And then at the bottom of the display it says this guitar is temporarily removed for the show tonight. And I got goosebumps.
Yeah.
Remember what I was thinking of. You might be spoiling me too much, love. You're gonna make me lonesome when you go. Flowers on the hillside blooming crazy.
This album of Dylan's, it was another masterpiece amongst a catalog of masterpieces.
The press loved it because it was Dylan being angry again and writing long songs.
I could stay with you forever and never realize the time. Situations have ended sad relationships.
We drive down to Sound 80 Studios and walk in, and within about 10 minutes, we've introduced ourselves to Bob Dylan.
It was so different than the New York sessions. That was so folky. We said, let's kick his butt a little bit. Let's do that. But I saw him at the Studio One door with a leather jacket on, looking a lot like Bob looks. But it's just a shocker when you see a legend in front of you, feet away, and you'd say, I'm here to work with this guy.
Both Bill and I worked for David, his brother, quite a bit. And so he would call us out of the blue. I see Bill sitting back there nodding, and he would call us out of the blue. Hey, show up at the studio. We got some demo to do, and he wouldn't really tell us what's going on. He'd always have a project for us, right? So that particular session was not premeditated or even thought about.
It felt like Bob was there to do a job. He was very serious, very focused on what he needed to do. And here's these guys, all these Minnesota people, coming together on a cold winter's night.
A lot of the horror stories that we'd heard about Dylan in the studio weren't happening at all.
He was very introverted. He had a cold, kind of kept to himself. For Tangled Up in Blue, he wrote the chords down on the margin of a newspaper and ripped it off and threw it on the organ and said, here's the chords, the next song. That was how it went. But he was relaxed. We had no airs about anything. It was all in the moment.
And she turned around to look at me.
There is something about, working with people that come from, the same part of town or the part of the state and country that you come from, where you feel a kinship to them.
How could we do this without including some of the musicians who played on the album? These are the folks, yes. And you're gonna see them here tonight. Bill Berg, Billy Peterson, Greg Enhofer, Kevin Odegaard. These are the Blood on the Tracks guys who laid down those tracks with Dylan. I'm very happy to introduce, to get things going, the aforementioned music director Doug Keith, and tonight's house band, Chatham County Line, Brad and Phil Cook, and Darren Jesse, and in the words of you-know-who, play it fucking loud. Have a great show.
I mean, Dylan's one of those artists who's like, you want to say Blood on the Tracks is your favorite record, but then there's like 20 other records, so and they could all be your favorite record.
Thank you, everybody. Everybody, thank you.